This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it.
I'm an Aston Martin that you steered straight into the ditch.
I think we legally can only have 5 seconds.
All right, so it's over the 5 seconds.
Legally about 5 seconds and then we're good. Then we're not good.
You got the picture though, setting the tone of this episode.
Oh, dear.
Tay Lonzo is legit, or was
Is it?
legit. Did you not see what Aston Martin put up on their TikTok?
I did, but I think they're just trying to play us.
Nah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What, you reckon Taylor's just gone to Aston Martin and been like, I just want to play this whole thing. There's all these rumors that we're dating, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But she's such like, no, all her
But when
songs
did
are about
I
Ace
don't
race.
understand, like, I mean, you know, we both love Taylor. I don't understand when she dated him because I feel like when was the gap? Because I remember when we spoke about this one episode where there was that like potential rumor, but
I reckon it was like just a 2-3 month fling-a-ding-ding.
Fling-a-ding.
Yeah, before she moved into the world of
She would
Superbowl.
tower. I mean, not that there's any issues with that, but she would tower over him.
Oh yeah, she would. People put like height differences.
Wait, we didn't
up.
actually say, but there was rumors of, which I think are rumors, Elle thinks is confirmed.
I think it's very
Taylor
confirmed.
Swift and Fernando Alonso dating.
Yeah.
Or fling-a-ding-ding.
I think
Fling-a-ding-a-ding-ding.
Fling-a-ding-ding-ding. I think it is a very, very much confirmed.
I don't know. I think she's just trying to play us. But
Look, it was a great way to go into the China weekend, so let's go there. Hey, before we get into the whole episode, last night, Sunday night.
we're still on a high.
So for those that didn't see on social media or couldn't come because maybe you live overseas,
Or interstate.
interstate as well. Yes, I do. We hosted a lovely bunch of people with Sportsnet at the Orang Hotel
We did
here in Armidale, Prahran.
A live viewing party.
And it was awesome.
So good.
Peter, your husband, he brought the sim down. So everyone was
Shout out to
having
Peter.
a go on that.
Also, shout out to Peter for building an app in half an hour so everyone could put in their predictions.
I know, that was insane. That was insane. The whole thing was incredible.
yeah.
We had, I think capacity was supposed to be like 120 upstairs and it was well over that. And then there was flow on downstairs in the pub. Sorry, Orang Hotel. But
So good.
everyone wanted to come. It was the novelty of it. It's the last race for a while until we can, you know, be
that we can
back.
watch live. Yeah, especially like comparing it to, because what we did, we didn't do something similar. We sort of did like a viewing party for Japan at the Orong downstairs, and then literally within like over 2 weeks, like, nope, let's do it again. Spoke to the Orong, had a meeting with the Orong Hotel. We spoke to Sportsnet F1 Experiences. They jumped on board, and it was just
And it all
an
came
incredible,
out from,
beautiful
like a bit
collaboration.
of a joke as well. Like I said to Sportsnet during LGP, I was like, let's do something for China, thinking they would never. Why would they want
Yeah.
to do something with us? And it was
Why wouldn't they want to do something with
also,
us?
I'm a little bit obsessed with our community.
Oh my gosh, we love you
because-
guys so much.
So many people came by themselves
Yeah,
and they left as friends.
yeah.
And are we matchmakers?
I
wish we set like
literally
someone
are.
up in a relationship.
Oh, that's the next step.
Yeah.
I can't wait till like a marriage comes out of this.
Yeah.
But there were so many girls that came by themselves, and also like really just want to like pat ourselves on the back because there were some girls that were saying, you know, didn't feel comfortable, like wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable going to an event that's run by dudes, but felt comfortable coming by myself. And then we were like, yep, see that table over there? All those girls are sitting by themselves. They've all made friends. Go sit with each other. Go become friends. And then they all left
Yeah.
together. And the same thing happened in Japan. And then a lot of them arrived together. So
Even a lot of guys that came by themselves or with their friends. So they came because they knew it wouldn't be a rowdy men's sporting event. They were like, we can just chill and sit back and watch it, which I thought was really, really great feedback to get that. And also interesting.
yeah,
But yeah, we had 75% female attendees.
so
which is
good.
Fantastic.
Also, it was
Look at
kind
us
of like
popping off.
it's kind of funny because the way the rooms were set up, so it was sort of like two rooms that joint and had the bar in the middle, and one of the rooms was like quite quiet and serious, and then the other room was like a bit louder, a bit like more
The
vibey.
rowdy room.
The rowdy room and the reserved room, but it was just a beautiful
The whole situation.
coming together.
Yeah.
It was just, it was incredible. And I loved the feedback that we got. And if anyone wants to give us some feedback as well, that'd be great. I know we've got a few questions that people wrote in as well that we'll be answering.
We'll do that later. And for now, we need to think about how we're going to do a Miami breakfast viewing. So that's something to discuss. If anyone out there listening actually would like to do a Miami breakfast viewing and know where we could do it, it's 6 a.m. Monday morning for us.
On the 5th of May? 5th of May.
Yeah. And then, we need viewing, licensing, all of that, and a space.
Because I think it would be great to take advantage of the fact that, I mean, it's not a great time, but it's also not 3 a.m. So we can make it possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, yes, we're doing this.
The next race after that is like a 3 a.m., 4 a.m. time. So
back to regular programming.
Literally. All right.
But news.
Well, I think one of the more interesting things that I also just don't really understand why is that they want to change the point system.
Yeah, I heard that rumor rumble.
So they're proposing, F1 are proposing expanded point system to benefit the midfield teams and boost that competition, which I think is interesting. Almost because it kind of, at the moment, sometimes I do think, the bottom 10 is a little bit made redundant. So it's considering, though, moving the points down to 12th place.
Yeah.
So expanding from the current top 10. So then how that would look like is that 12th place would get 1 point and then first place would get 25 points, which is still a big difference.
I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I'm not like completely against. I'm a bit indifferent for now, but I'll have a firmer opinion if this actually sort of eventuates. But I think I like how it is now because it's clean, 10 places get points, like it's nice and clean. But I do understand as well that like it is kind of crappier for the midfield to get points. But at the same time, saying that, like really only the top 5, those are the sort of teams, the teams that are coming, the top 5, top 6, they're the points that make a difference. 1 or 2 points at the end.
But it gives them a shot, don't you think, commercially?
Well, it's not giving
No, but it gives them a shot to get some points and also could then lead to more commercial opportunities, which could lead to sponsors, which could lead to then more competition from that, because from that extra sponsorship, they can invest more, obviously, within their caps, but invest more into their tech.
That I agree with. And the other thing that I was thinking as well was, hypothetically, are they doing this because they're potentially going to get more teams in? Because that, that would make sense. But I'm not against it.
Qatar's got their 20, what is it?
57 garages, yeah.
Whatever they've built out there.
It's going to get to a point where it's like, top 30 gets points. No, it will not happen.
Look, I don't think it's bad. There's definitely a lot on the internet of people being like, no, it's fucking stupid.
People have such intense opinions about things. I mean, maybe sometimes we do, but I don't think it's...
I think it's fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
And what else is happening around the news track?
What else is happening? Well, I heard rumblings. Some rumblings.
There's always rumblings.
Rumblings about our friend Hülkenberg and potentially him... Hülkenberg going to Audi 2026.
Honestly, I don't care.
You don't care?
I do, but I don't. It's more the fact that it's 2026, it's Audi. Everyone's contracts are up this year.
Yeah.
80% of the grid.
Yeah.
79% now that Alonso's.
Well, then the other thing that kind of came out of that as well, though. Well, then I also read somewhere that potentially they might want to snag Ocon. And then the other thing, which kind of...
Can you imagine them paired with Carlos, though?
Well, no. But then this is the thing as well, is that Red Bull has come out and said that apparently they cannot afford Carlos Sainz and that they cannot match what Audi would be paying him.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, when I read this, I was like, well, I don't always believe, I mean, the whole like take what Red Bull says with a grain of salt. I even think it's like less than a grain of salt. It's like a speck of microscopic dirt, because
they're worse than Taylor Swift, the Easter eggs they're planting.
Literally. And the amount of stuff that they say that is true, but also a lot of stuff that is untrue and true. So who knows? But if surely they can afford him. Like, how much are you going to be paying Audi? You're not going to be paying that much.
Well, Red Bull could lose Adrian Newey.
Yeah.
Rumour has it he was spotted in Italy this year, not far from
Maybe
the
he just likes
Ferrari
pasta.
headquarters.
Maybe he was just having a nice cotoletta.
Near Ferrari headquarters in
Maybe
the middle of Tuscany.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with that one.
One more thing I wanted to touch on. It was actually an article that I saw earlier on in the week talking about F1's 2023 impact report.
Oh, yes. It did come out.
Yep. So they were saying that they've made significant progress. So I was reading that the comprehensive report shows how the strategy is being successfully delivered through F1's environmental, social and governance activities. The latest carbon footprint calculation shows a 13% reduction in the sport's carbon footprint compared to 2018. So that's good to see. Vettel, will you be back? Is that enough for you?
This is for you. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
We want to know.
Is 13% reduction enough? Is it enough?
Well, is that 13% reduction just coming from Sky?
Yeah.
Because they're not
going
broadcasting
anywhere.
Yeah, they're doing
Oh,
it
I
in their
know.
like little producer's room at the moment with a green screen behind them. Is that why?
Again, I was like, I didn't know. No, we want to see them on the track. We didn't want to see them in the UK.
I get it, but it's also a bit.
It's giving COVID, and I don't like it.
It is. It is giving COVID. No one wants it.
No.
The only time that I really do enjoy like a broadcast like that is with the Olympics and things like that when it's just
But
feels
it's
a little bit more special.
And because it has to be
and
done.
they stand there and they interview people and it's intense and it's emotional and it's rare. Not every weekend.
No. And also like the Olympics, obviously it'd be impossible to have like every single broadcaster there because it's, it's just not possible.
July is going to be an absolute fuckery with all the sports channels because you got Tour de France. Sorry, you start with Goodwill, then Tour de France starts and then Silverstone is on and then the Olympics start just as the tour finishes. And I think there's something else on during that time as well, all just in this little pocket of Europe.
Well,
The
lucky
United Kingdom.
I will be probably awake with the baby, so I'll be just viewing lots of sports.
I'll be there.
I won't be sleeping. I will basically be there.
I'll be there sipping all the rosé and eating all the croissants. All right, let's get into the race weekend. Fire and rain is what we started with. It was
The fire.
confusing as. It happened twice as well. Was that a third time? I can't remember if it was the third time.
Why did that happen?
Okay, because what happened, Ted Kravitz did a great explanation of this, is that the cars were bottoming out on that corner and sending sparks. And there must just be something with that grass that it's super flammable.
Right, okay.
Because
Charlotte was like, there's fire.
it wasn't like it was 40 degrees where the grass is super dry and it would just like ignite.
Yeah.
Ignite, is that the right
I wonder
word?
if, ignite. I wonder as well if maybe there was some sort of like,
Chemical? That's what I thought. I
yeah,
was
like,
there must
or
be a
like
chemical in the
mulch.
grass.
Or like what's the,
Yeah.
compost? Yeah.
Oh, dull. We
Yeah.
have to compost the F1 track.
Some sort of, not compost, but like the dirt. You know how there's some dirt that can be,
Yeah.
quite-
Mulch.
yeah, like mulch
I think
can
it's
be.
mulch.
Yeah.
It was, it happened twice. The radios were so funny. Like Gasly, I think it was Gasly. He's like, there's a fire.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Oh,
Sure,
okay,
sure.
let's put that one out. And they only had one practice as well
Yeah.
because sprint
Sprint weekend.
has changed.
Yeah.
So it's no longer sprint shootout.
No.
It is now sprint qualifying.
Do you want to run us through this new format, Elle?
Well, that's kind of
That's it.
the name. That's it. But also it does mean that when the sprint is on, there's only one practice.
Yeah.
And then after practice, they have the sprint qualifying.
Yeah.
So especially in China, that was a big deal. First time, 5 years.
I
First
was
sprint.
confused this weekend.
It happened right away. It means that it happens all on the Friday, the sprint qualifying. which is, I'm so glad they call it qualifying because that's what we were calling it last year.
Yeah, that's what we were calling
And then
last year.
kept getting confused. But now it also does sound like two. Anyway. And then on the Saturday, you have the sprint. And then after that, you have normal qualifying.
Yep.
So that's how the new format works. And then on Sunday, the race. So they're on the track 5 times.
Not great for the teams, I think, when they want to make changes to the car and you literally just get one practice in.
No. And that's what
also,
they've been saying
like-
last year as well.
But I think as well risky having it in China because obviously we hadn't seen a race in China since like 2019. So it's not a track that, I mean, it's not a track that a lot of the cars had even dealt with before.
Yeah. Especially new tyres, new regulations.
New drivers.
Yeah, but you know what?
They adapt.
They adapt. They get over it.
Yeah.
It was Oscar's first time in Japan last year and look how well he did. So
yeah, but he's superhuman.
Yep, I think it's fine. So I think one of the biggest things that came out of practice is definitely the fire. Then it also we got fucking rained out. It was absolute disaster. But I will say in the sprint quali, we had was it sprint quali or sprint? I'm now confusing myself. But we had probably some of the best driving I've seen.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. I must say, when I tuned in this weekend, I was like, I like China. I really like it. I like that it was eventful.
It was eventful. Yeah. And then, so it was lap 16 where the driving really peaked. And we had a fantastic battle between Alonso, Carlos, Checo, and Charles. Unfortunately, it did mean that Alonso got a puncture in his tyre from it and had to retire his car. So he was out.
Bye.
Now, this is the Nico Rosberg curse because I took a photo the day before of Nico standing outside Alonso's garage. Boom, out.
I love that you took that photo and then you're like, I knew this was going to happen.
I took it because it was just like
Just
random.
little witch.
Yeah. And I got his eyes at the right point. If you don't know what we're talking about, head to our Instagram page. You can see it right there.
You'll see.
But yeah, Checo snaked third whilst Carlos and Alonso battled it, and then Alonso just lost it.
Yeah.
And it was really good driving.
Yeah.
Very, very good driving. What did you think
The
of
three
the
Latinos.
sprint?
The three Latinos and Charles.
What did you think of the sprint?
Yeah. It was good. It was interesting. I think, that was fantastic. But I just feel like you really have to like strap yourself in for a sprint weekend. Like there's so much going on. And now I'm even confused about what point I was watching what, you know? Now I'm like, I don't remember. What was that quali?
Oh, yes.
Or was that,
I know
what I mean?
I know what you mean. I was trying to think. Yeah, well, all sorts of different things happened. And I think that's what's also confusing about the sprint. It is just a spectacle. If people want us to talk about it, we can talk about it. But if people don't, let us know because we don't have to. Yeah.
Also the sprint quali, I don't have it in front of me, but the results as well. I was like, the tables have turned because we had Lance Stroll in second place.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I feel like I haven't, like this whole season, I haven't really gotten much out of Stroll. And then this weekend, we got a lot out of Stroll and not necessarily good things
Not
out
good
of him.
things, no.
But I was like, good on him for getting second place.
Yeah.
Was not expected.
I have no words.
And I feel
don't
like
know.
when we did-
I'm annoyed at the moment with Lance, Mr. Stroll.
Oh gosh, me too.
I think just after all
not
the
happy.
Danny comments, I feel a little bit protective and a bit annoyed at the moment.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, what was it? Was it he? I mean, sorry, we'll get back to that. But for the sprint quali, we saw the sprint grid. So the sprint grid was in first place Lando, which I guess set kind of a precedence for how he did for the rest of the weekend.
oh no, okay, yes, he did well in the actual Sunday race, but his sprint, he lost it. Tom.
Sorry, yeah, we haven't even touched on the Lando controversy.
Yeah, so Tom was sitting there next to me, we're watching the sprint, and Tom goes, "What's the bet Lando will lose at first corner?" Literally 30 seconds later, he chickened out. Lando did, ex Lewis, and he dropped to 7th.
But also
Just lost it.
the sprint quali, it was a sprint quali with the lap deletion, right?
Yes.
What are your thoughts? Do you think that his lap should have been deleted or that it was correct that it was reinstated?
Should have been deleted.
Yeah, he clearly went off. I
went
don't
off.
understand.
Off,
I'm sorry,
off,
FIA. I don't understand
Yeah.
when you make the like. There are some things that are clearly. There are some moments in a race where you think, absolutely, absolutely, they are over the line. But sorry, they are absolutely not over the line. But this was so clear. Like he was completely off the line.
Yeah, all four wheels off. Boom. I was really confused. I didn't think he was anyway. And then he made pole and then he lost it. So that was
Yeah.
probably well deserving that he did lose it, even though I love Lando, so it was a bit sad. But he did definitely chicken out in the actual sprint. So and then Max took Lewis lap 9 and then by lap 14 had 6 seconds on Lewis. So yeah. Max really put the pace there of standard. And then Max won. Another standard situation.
Another standard.
But then we moved into actual qualifying after the whole sprint drama.
Yeah.
Which now you're
Do you know what I mean?
You know,
I'm like,
you're onto quali now. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up, but yes, we're on to quali.
So Logan Sargent, got to touch on him because he spun out, engine off in quali. It's not his year.
Do you know what's even?
Is he
do you know what's sad? Sorry.
Yeah.
Like even when Peter made this app, and for people's predictions, he just. I don't think anyone realised, but he left Logan Sargent off.
Oh, you forgot.
I'm just like,
Did you not count 20 drivers?
clearly he
Peter,
can't
can
count.
you count?
But I was like, that's how forgotten he is.
He's just not performing.
And Amy's not here to defend him.
I know, so we're going to have a full
Also, side note, Amy is at Coachella.
we can have a full one right now. He's not performing. It's
Tragic.
I don't think you can qualify to be a Formula One driver at that point. Like, surely, hand on heart, Williams is having conversations right now with potentially Liam Lawson or someone like that.
Oh, yeah. I think surely they're over being nice by now.
It's too nice.
Yeah, it's too nice.
But there is part of me
losing
that's
money.
also, they're like, we need our American.
I
Which
know,
is why
and
they've
this is
got Gunther as the Miami Grand Prix ambassador.
And this is the thing, and we'll touch on Joe Guan Yu and home race and all that, and we'll touch on that. But it's kind of the same thing of like, is it worth having someone because their driving might not be great, but the amount of fan base that they bring in, and fan base equals money.
I don't know if it's worth it.
Come on, Williams.
Because it also is turning people off the sport then.
Yeah.
If they're told, hey, you have to follow this one guy because he's in your realm of
He comes from your country.
or whatever. That's the word I'm looking for.
Your country.
And that's the person that you think, especially I feel, well, I mean, I can't say this, but, well, I'm going to say it, but I don't know if it's legitimate. I feel like America's very strong. Like,
So patriotic.
Yes,
They're
that's
so
the word.
patriotic.
and they want to follow Americans.
Yeah.
Do they really want to follow,
Yeah.
the Aussies
gets
and
boring.
the English and the Spanish and the Italians? Like,
Well, this is the thing. I've always been like, I know in Australia a lot of people like, oh, yeah, follow the Aussie. I've always been a bit like, I like drivers or I like teams, regardless of where they're from. Obviously, there's like a soft spot in my heart for like Danny Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri, and I always want them to do well. But I think as well for us, we're kind of lucky because the two people, one this season, one not so much, but the two people that represent our country have like brought us some pretty great things. They're not Max Verstappen's, like, the Dutch love Max Verstappen and rightfully so. He's a national treasure. But it's kind of like for a lot of Australians, it's been easy to follow Danny Rick and Oscar Piastri because they bring some like pretty good results. So I don't know what it would be like to, have Logan Sargent as your representation.
there's someone out there. There's someone out there,
Yeah.
and that's who they're fangirling over. And
Amy's fangirling over him.
if that is you listening right now, please send us a DM because I want to chat about what it is that you are so enthralled by with Logan Sargent.
Oscar Piastri and Logan kind of went through the ranks together and they were good friends. And I remember Nicole was saying that he's really lovely and that he was like one of Oscar's best friends. So on a human level, great guy. On an F1 on the track level, not so great.
Oh, Logan. Anyway, moving on from Mr. Sargent,
Yeah.
we had Carlos Sainz spinning out
Oh my
on
gosh.
quali.
Do you remember, sorry, when Elle got on the, when you got on the sim and you spun out, I was like, that's literally where Carlos spun out. We'll call you Carlos.
I'm going to admit something really embarrassing here. You turned away at this point after I spun out. And I got back on, this is on Sunday night at our Chinese viewing. I got back on the track, like turned the car around, and I was going and I was like, I'm doing so well. And then one of the guys from the Orong who was standing there watching, he goes, you're going backwards.
Oh, no. Oh,
going
no,
on the
she
wrong way
didn't.
at the
Oh, no.
So I don't know if I'm going to be sim racing anytime soon. But yeah.
Oy.
But no, Carlos got really lucky that he
So lucky.
no one was coming from behind. Otherwise, that would have just gone straight into him. Oscar Den did very similar situation as well.
Mm-hmm.
But quali led us to Red Bull having their 100th pole position
Yeah.
since 1999. There also hadn't been a driver to take all 5 poles in the first race of the season. So
Well done, Max.
25 years. Well done, Max. I'm breaking another record.
I know. I was thinking,
that's all
add it to the
Max is-
tally.
That's all he's going to do. And then he's going to move teams eventually because Red Bull's reign will run out. It always
Yeah.
does. It's always a cycle. Someone will come up. I feel like that's going to be Ferrari. And yeah, Max will just be like, that's all right. I already have all the records.
Yeah, I think this year, end of the year, we'll be just doing another tally, another Max Verstappen tally. I wonder if like he'll break the record. He'll break the record of all the records he broke last season.
That'd be interesting to watch later this year.
Ooh.
So I think we need to talk about the race then.
We do.
First of all, I did not watch the race until today, only because we were at the event and I
We
was
were entertaining.
talking to everyone and I was
I mean,
moving bad and drinking too much wine.
I
personally.
feel like because what time? We got there at like 2:30 and we were on our feet nonstop. So then as soon as when you were on the sim and I was like, Elle, hurry up. The race is about to start. Like, come on. And then I was like, oh, I need to sit down. And then I could kind of sit down. But then I was like, but I want to talk to people and
yeah, I was
you
moving
know.
about talking, but that's okay because I sort of got the gist of everything. I think just to sort of see what was, happening and talking to people
Again-
and not knowing, okay, this is the rowdy room, this is the quiet room.
But also, again, I loved, it's just, I love our community. Everyone was just like so loud and chatting and having a good time. And then as soon as the race was about to start, it was just like dead silent.
oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah, dead silent. Like, yeah.
So a few things came out of the race.
Many things.
Many
red flags.
Many red flags.
Many safety cars.
I think the first one that I really would like to touch on is Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo because Daniel has also been given a 3 grid place penalty for Miami, but this is for overtaking Nico Hülkenberg during the safety car.
Yep.
So was that the first safety car or the second safety car? I can't remember. But during one of the safety car restarts, they were all sort of in their formation, doing what they do, their little zigzags. And you can see in Lance Stroll's onboard camera, he's not looking. He looks to the corner. He turns his head and just goes straight into Daniel. And then as a result, Daniel then
They
hits
looked like-
Oscar's car.
I was like, is this F1 or is this like Dodgem cars?
It looked like that. And then Lance is like, oh, it's just, it is what it is.
No, no. Yeah,
What did he say? What's the fucking word that he kept using?
No, he said something like, oh, what did he say? I was watching it today and I was like, he's like,
He kept saying it wrong as well, the word that he was using.
oh, we need to find it. But yeah, he's like, well, like Daniel Ricciardo's like clearly like saying, yeah, like Lance came up behind me and like, this happened. And then he's like, yeah, well, I mean, the person in front of me, like you can say his name, he braked. So, and I was like, no, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Well, any insurance job, just a normal on the road.
Literally.
The person that rear ends, it's always their fault.
Always.
Yeah, always their
You
fault.
should
We
see
know
Daniel's
that.
car like, boink.
I know. It just popped off. And so it forced Daniel then to retire. So He's having a shit run anyway this year.
So
then he has to
disappointing.
retire. And now next
Yeah.
week not next week, week after, he's got 3-place grid penalty.
Yeah.
Oscar, he probably would have finished P5, I reckon, if he
Yeah.
hadn't had damage done to his car.
Yeah.
What did McLaren say? He lost 0.4 of a second per lap after that. And things, it was a miracle that he did keep going.
Yeah. But before that, actually, the first DNF we saw was Valtteri Bottas,
That's right.
which we were laughing because it looked like he was like he was just like sitting on the edge of the track. Like there was kind of like like it sort of veered off. You could see him like getting out of his car and all these cars swinging past. He's just like, yeah, I'm here, guys. I'm over here. And then it was Yuki and then it was Daniel Ricciardo. So not a day for the RBs.
No. What happened with Yuki?
Sonoda was hit, tapped Magnussen and then spun out, which resulted in a puncture. And it was enough damage for him to pull over and DNF. Not a day for the RBs.
Not a day for Kevin Magnussen either, because he was also caught up in that conflict.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, out they go. Ciao, Bellas.
Not one single point for them. It's a shame, especially after Yuki, he came 10th last week, scoring some points in Japan. At least he got some points in his home race.
Well, I wonder what would have happened if Lance didn't go up Danny's bum and where Danny would have sat. That's what I am interested to know.
I mean, I don't think he would have sat in the points.
You don't think so? No, I think he could have been made up to 9th or 10th.
Wishful thinking.
You reckon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to quote Daniel Ricciardo, apparently I'm the idiot.
Yeah. It's funny when everything that I'm reading is it was a love tap. Daniel Ricciardo frustrated. No shit, he's frustrated. That was not a love tap.
Yeah, also because Lance is like, oh, it's nothing. How fucking awkward as well that Daniel's best friend is brother-in-law to Lance.
Oh
Is
my
that not
gosh.
awkward?
Yeah, that is awkward.
For poor Scotty James?
I wonder, I actually don't know anything about Danny Rick's and Lance's relationship up until now. I've never thought of them
As friends?
Yeah. Or having some sort of relationship.
Yeah, don't know.
But now I know.
I think that relationship is now very fractured.
Very fractured. Very, very fractured.
So what else happened in the race? What do the viewers, the listeners need to know?
What else happened? I actually I've lost count with how many virtual safety cars there were and how many red flags we had. Was it 3?
I think it was 3. Yep. 3 red flags.
3. I reckon there were parts of the race that was super interesting. Definitely much more interesting than Japan last week. I think that Checo could have done better than what he did in the end.
You reckon he could have?
Yeah.
You don't think he did well?
I mean,
Checo still finished 3rd.
I think he did well, but I'm sorry, but I just see how well Max does in that car. He has all the gear. You have everything available, but you're not there's no excuse to not come second.
Yeah, that's quality of the driver though, but
yeah.
Still pretty phenomenal effort coming second. I mean, Max is running his own race, so that's just him. He just handles everything so differently to everyone else. Lando was anytime I finish behind Max, I feel like I'm winning. Because even he's saying...
Lando. I'm very proud of Lando. I'm not proud of Sergio. That's what I'm saying.
Sergio.
I just think he needs to come second. I'm sorry. I sound like a bitch, but it's true. He needs to come second. And that's why I think if we had a Charles or a Carlos, yes, I'm biased, in that seat, and I'm not saying that they need to be in that seat, but we would see 1-2s. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, unless we have the lovely miracle that we had in Melbourne. And even then, Melbourne... Checo should have won that race.
Fans don't want to see this though. Fans don't want to see 1-2. They do every now and then from their favourite team. But
I know they don't.
To.
I know they don't. And maybe that's Red Bull's strategy of keeping him there.
It's like any sport. If you see someone constantly winning, you're a bit like, oh, it's just stock standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shout out to our little friend Lando Norris.
Lando Norris coming in second.
So good.
it's still impressive. Oscar came 8th after his damage, and also the fact that Hülkenberg got some points.
I know, it's so good.
Very rare. And then the Mercedes was
Very
just
rare.
not really like performing this weekend. I thought Mercedes were a bit flat all weekend.
Yeah.
Lewis obviously was out in quali, which was a shame for him. He hadn't been out in Q1, I think, since Jeddah 2022, I believe it is. So
Yeah, not great.
was not a great performance for him. But when he did come out, that's when the rain started coming heavy. I mean, they were doing lap times in quali at like around 1:36 and then went to 2 minutes. So just goes to show how the weather changed everything for them there.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah,
all
overall,
in all, pretty good.
pretty good
Ferrari,
race. Pretty interesting.
4th and 5th. That's what's important to me. It's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame though, because I think the battle. I think Charles could have had a podium, but that's right. I'm happy that Lando was on the podium. It's a nice one too. It wasn't Checo, but it's a nice one too. I'm happy with that. And yeah, it's a shame that Oscar didn't quite make it up there further than what he could have. But
Oscar's sitting middle field at the moment in the top 10.
yeah.
Watch out, Miami, see what happens.
Yeah.
All
Next week we'll do a little Miami recap.
right.
But I think that's kind of everything race-wise.
And that's why I'm going to lead us into our questions.
Yes.
Now, I've had to remove some of them
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I just don't even want to talk about them, but the quality of them was just not fantastic. Now, the first one
Wait,
is...
before, I know we mentioned this before, but basically we had a QR code set up.
Yes.
We had 2 QR codes. One for race predictions and then one for questions. We wanted people at our viewing party to write in some questions for us to answer on the podcast today. So here we are.
So the first one is from the lovely Catalina.
Yep.
When did you realize you needed to do this podcast, and how did you convince each other to do it?
There was no convincing.
That was pretty fucking easy. So I guess I brought Amy, Pat and I together. I wanted to do
Glue.
a podcast, and I wanted it to be in F1 because I loved it so much. And Amy and I had been chatting and brought it up with her, and I thought, what do you think? And then I was like, nah, we need third person. We need the dynamic. And you and I were watching the Monaco Grand Prix together. It was our first time hanging out as well, just
The two of
to
us,
Yeah,
yeah.
because usually we just sort of knew each other through mutual friends.
We were at a dinner and
Yeah.
you were like, come and watch a Grand Prix and let's do this. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so
Let's
you
do
came over at like 11 o'clock at night, and I
We
was
watched
sitting,
quali.
I was drinking margs, and you weren't because you were driving. And was
No,
just
but I
sitting
had a
there.
few marks that night.
Can't even remember. But
I know,
anyway,
it feels like
so
a
I
lifetime
asked you,
ago.
and I said, well, did you do this? And you're like,
Yes.
yes. And then we did it a week later.
Well, literally, we were like, yes, let's do this. We spoke about it for like 3 hours. I'm like, all right, let's put in a date next week. We're going to go catch up. We're going to get coffee. Let's put in a date the following week. We're doing a photo shoot. And then a week later, we were in the studio.
The rest is history.
The rest is history,
And then,
which is crazy because that's almost a year ago.
so next question. Do you think Taylor Swift and Alonso were actually dating? From the lovely Michael Woods. Woodsy. Yes. I think I've confirmed that from the start of the episode that I do think they were dating. Pat, you're like,
Unsure.
No.
Unsure. I don't know. I mean, if it's true, I want proof because the song isn't proof enough.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Taylor Swift. She'll never like
No.
her Easter eggs are the best part.
I'm sorry. I just can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see them together.
I can in my hindsight. Next one. Why 43? Now, we've had this question before. The 43 represents our favourite numbers combined.
Yep.
And also there's been no driver that's been number 45.
43. We are your
What's our
number.
number?
We
43.
are. What number is it? We
We're
are
43.
your
have
driver.
inserted ourselves on the F1 grid by doing that, so no one can ever be 43. And if they are, we'll just say that they are copying
We'll sue
us.
them.
Yep, we'll sue them. Trademarked. All right, next one is from Phil. Phil the Menace. Is it true Carlos Sainz's operation was a cover-up for him getting bionic fan upgrades? Yeah, possibly.
I don't know what sort of they like removed his appendix and added in some like superpower
like drug testing,
Yeah.
like type stuff that just goes through his blood.
Like
I
that
don't know.
limitless pill or something.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't get exhausted as much. Maybe that's it. All right, who's going to be the 1-2 for Audi, Red Bull, and Mercedes?
Sorry, say that again.
Who's going to be the 1-2 for Audi, Red Bull, and Mercedes? So who's going to be the 2 drivers for Audi, 2 for Red Bull, 2 for Mercedes?
Jeez.
I guess we're talking 2026 here because that's Audi. So
Oh my God, I have no idea.
Red Bull, I think it'll be a Max Lando,
You think Max will still be there?
possibly.
Or Max Oscar?
Yeah, that's also a
Unstoppable.
possibility. Yeah.
Carlos, will you be at Audi or will you be at Mercedes?
I think he'll be at Audi. Carlos and Alonso.
I just don't want him to go to Audi because
No,
he has
Alonso's
so much.
staying
He has so much to
Aston.
give, and it's just a waste. Charles will stay at Ferrari.
George will stay at Mercedes, and then
George will stay at Mercedes. Yep.
whoever leaves McLaren, Lando, or Oscar
Maybe-
will go join George.
Yeah.
Or Alex Albon.
Yeah, or Albon. I was going
Yeah.
to say Albon and George. I
Yeah.
like that.
Carlos and Valtteri Bottas at Audi.
Or Carlos and Ocon.
No.
I don't want Carlos at Audi. I'm sorry. I know that you're going there, but I don't want it.
Okay, we'll pass that message on for you.
Yeah.
All right, and last one. I've kept this one because this is funny. Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, we love
This
these.
is what we're signing off with, Pat.
Love these.
Fuck, marry, kill. Zach Brown, Gunther Steiner, Christian Horner.
Oh, damn. I want to
Besides
kill
the
2 of them.
obvious. No, okay, so it's not kill, it's slap.
Yeah, I don't want to kill anyone.
No.
I don't want to kill anyone, okay.
We just want to
okay.
give shake a finger and be like, naughty. Bad
so
boy.
kill Christian Horner. I don't want to do anything with Zach Brown. I don't want to marry him and I don't want to fuck him.
Yeah, it's a bit gross, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like
I'd
you've got to
rather,
marry
like-
Gunther Steiner because he'd just be funny to live with.
I know, yeah, I definitely would. Yeah. I think I'd rather marry Gunther Steiner because I think he's lovely. He gave me a chocolate, which means, he probably would be a lovely husband. And it would just, he's so kind and cute and
Yeah, but now you have to sleep with Zach Brown.
yeah. Ugh. I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, let's just look past that. Someone else? Anyone else? Any other takers? I don't want them. I don't want those 3.
It's funny because
Just one of them.
a year ago, everyone would have said Christian Horner, sleep with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, no.
Absolutely not.
No, don't want to go there. There's
Especially
no
after the
news.
imagery that we saw.
Yeah, no news on that yet. It's all still
No.
hush-hush because it must be really with the courts now.
Yeah.
Media bans.
Yeah. Did you get to
Legal
do a fuck,
requirements.
marry, kill?
Did I pick that? Mine's probably very similar to yours.
Yeah.
I can't choose beyond that.
Fair.
No. And the rest of the questions were
Not great.
highly inappropriate.
Yeah.
That I am removing them because they were asking, and I'm just going to put this out there. We don't care about the driver's sexualities.
No.
And a lot of them were asking about that and some more personal things. I did get a question of someone asked what we thought of the 2 guys that filmed at the AusGP of George Russell taking a whiz. I was like, nah, it's not
Yeah.
on. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
No need to shed light on these silly things.
You're screwing up your own privilege as well
Yeah.
of being invited in there. Not okay. And then, so we don't care to answer those sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Move on.
moving on.
Moving on.
But next week we will be doing a little Miami GP preview. And that's all you're gonna get from us today.
Yeah, that's all she wrote.
Lovely.
All right, we're getting out of here. Bye. Make sure you leave a review
Like
if
and
you
subscribe.
liked it. Okay. Ciao.